Our activity today is 1.2 activity. The objective for this activity is the students will develop an understanding of the two types of integer addition problems. The some where they have the signs that are the same and some where their signs are different. The standards that are covered in this activity are 7EE.3, 7NS1B, and D. The page numbers for this activity out of your hardcover book is pages 8 and 9, and out of your practice journal is pages 7 through 9. Students will use integer counters as well as number lines to help visualize the addition of integers. As students get more comfortable with solving problems of addition of integers, they will eventually get away from this, and some of you may be comfortable right away, so just bear with me. Draw a picture to show how you use integer counters to find -6 plus 3. If we're going to use integer counters to do this, we want to pull -6s. So we want 6 negative signs. So I'm going to go ahead and pull 6 negative signs and put them in this box. And then plus 3, since it was a positive in front of the 3, we're going to pull 3 positive signs. Now, for those of you, obviously, you don't have a smart board that you're working off of. So you may do something like this. Maybe draw 6 negative signs, and then 3 positive signs. Okay? To show how this looks, I'm now going to transfer each of these negative signs over into this box over here, just to give you that visual of how we can figure out what our final answer is. So I'm going to just pull them here instead of taking them out of the front 2 boxes. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I need 3 plus signs. And I'm going to line these up, and here's why. Because these are opposites, these 3 cancel each other out. Whatever's left over is going to be our answer to this problem. So because I have 1, 2, 3 negative signs, my final answer to this problem is -3. Okay, that just gives you a visual of being able to solve integers using counters. So we're going to go ahead and practice another one. Erase this. Get rid of those and get them out of the way. So here's our next one. Draw a picture to show how you use integer counters to find 5 plus -7. So because this 5 right here does not have a symbol in front of it, we have to realize that that means positive. So I'm going to pull 5 positives. 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus -7. So now I'm going to pull 7 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm choosing to line them up this way so that I can show my canceling out. These 5 cancel each other out, which leaves me with my answer of 2 negatives. So -2 would be our answer for this one. Now, I know some of you can go ahead and solve these without. I'm trying to break it down into the basics so that we can get comfortable with those integers. All right, why don't you guys try this one? And you can go ahead and pause your video so that you can work at your own pace. Okay, so if you're going to solve this one, we have -8. So this time I'm just going to do it as if I were you and I was working out of my book. You've got -8, so I've got 8 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus, I have another negative set of 2. So I'm not going to line these up underneath. I'm actually just going to add them to my negatives that were here. Final answer, I'm going to go ahead and count how many negatives I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There were 10 negatives, so you should have gotten -10. That's working with integer counters. Now we're going to go ahead and work off of a number line. Now, what you need to realize is both of these practices are great for smaller numbers, but you really want to be able to just get comfortable with it so that you can identify maybe some easier ways to solve them. Obviously, we're not going to want to use a number line or number counters when we're working with really large numbers. It would take us a long time. So when using a number line, you're always going to start at 0. So no matter what the numbers are, we're always going to start at 0. We're going to move the first digit on our number line and then move the number of units indicated by the second number in the direction indicated by the symbol in front of that number. Your answer is the digit below your last arrow. Okay, that was a lot of wording, so it's just much easier for me to go through and show you. So we're going to go ahead and start at 0, and we're going to go to -6. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line from 0 to -6. Okay, so now I'm sitting at -6. Now I'm going to go ahead and move in the positive direction. Now remember, when we think of a number line, here's 0, and I've got a number line obviously on the screen. We want to move in the positive direction, which is to the right. Our negatives fall to the left. So if I want to go in the positive direction, I'm going to go ahead and use a different color here. So I'm going to move up just so that you can see that I'm moving over 3. I'm going to go in the positive direction 3 places. There's 1, 2, 3. Okay, the number that is below where we ended is our final answer. So our answer to -6 plus 3 gives us -3. And I know that was one of our previous questions, I believe, on the last slide. This is just giving you another way that you could solve them if you don't want to work with counters. Okay, so let's try another one. Use a number line to show how you can find 5 plus -7. So we're always going to start at 0. Okay, we don't start at whatever the first number is, we start at 0. And we're going to go in whatever direction that is. So +5 is going to be over here. So I'm going to draw a line from 0 to +5. So there's my first part. So now I'm done with that. Now I've got plus a -7. So now I need to go in the negative direction 7 places. So I'm going to move this up so that we can see where we're going. And I want to go 7 places in the negative. Remember, negatives are over here on our number line. So 7 places. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Puts me back at 0. 6, 7. This is my final answer. So we would get -2 for an answer of 5 plus -7. Go ahead and try this one on your own. Go ahead and pause the video if you need extra time. Remember, when we solve these, we always start at 0. We'll go to our first number, which was -5. And now I'm going to move in the negative direction 2 places. So here, 1, 2 in the negative puts me at -7. So we get -7 for this problem. Why don't you go ahead and do do problems 1 through 4 on pages 7 and 8. If you want to work with a partner, you may. Otherwise, you may go ahead and work on that on your own. And you can pause the video. I'm not going to go through those 4. Those 4 would be ones that you would need to see me about on the answers. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and have you flip to page 8. You guys have this same chart on your page 8. I just didn't include the number line that was up above. So we're going to go through and practice working using integer counters or a number line to complete the table. And notice that up here, I did say if needed. I know some of you are comfortable and you've already made a connection of an easier method than having to draw the counters or draw the number line. You guys do have a number line in your little whiteboard that you could go ahead and use that so that you didn't have to draw it every time. You just have to flip the graph side over, and you can use your whiteboard to be able to do that if you prefer the number line. So for our exercise, first of all, it says -4 plus -3. They want to know the type of sum. So here, the book is kind of giving us an idea of what they want. It says integers with the same sign. So if you would just rather write the word same in this box, I would be okay with that instead of writing the entire thing. For the sum, it looks to me just from looking at an example that they had here in number 3 that they actually want what the sum would be. And then here, we're going to just identify whether it's positive, negative, or ended at 0. So I'm going to go ahead and just in this sum box, I'm going to do counters. I'm most comfortable, I can do it in my head without it, but for teaching it and not having to like draw the number line out all the time, I'm pretty comfortable with counters. So I'm going to have 4 negatives and then another 3. And since I ended up with all of them together as negatives, I can go ahead and count how many negatives I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got -7 for that. Well, was the sum positive, negative, or 0? That was negative. So I'm just going to put an N for negative. Number 6, we've got -2 plus 3. Type of sum. Well, do they have the same symbol in front of them or different? So like up here, see how we said same and they have the same symbol? Yes, I know we still have the plus sign, but these have the same symbol right in front of them. A negative symbol and nothing means a positive. So these are different. So if we want to just put D for different, that would be okay. And then you can either use your number line, your counters, or some of you will just be able to do it in your head. I'll go ahead and do counters so that those of you that need that visual can see it. I've got 1, 2, 3 negatives. I'm sorry, those last two kind of connected together, so I'm going to redraw those. Oops. And I erase the one up above. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. And then I had 2 positives. Okay, remember when we practiced this a couple slides ago, these cancel each other out, so I ended up with 1 negative, so we would get -1. And notice they did give the negative for our answer there in that box. Okay, so number 7, we've got 5 plus -3. Look at the symbols in front. No symbol means it's a positive symbol. And a negative symbol, those are different. So different. They already gave us the answer, but just so that you guys can kind of see the visual, it would look like this. 3, 4, 5 positives. And then I had 3 negative signs. For those of you that need that visual, oh, we ended up with 2 positive signs. Notice they did give us a 2. No symbol here means that it's a positive answer. And then for our last answer over here, was it positive, negative, or 0? Well, it ended up positive, so we'll just put a P for positive. Okay, we're going to go ahead and jump down to number 13 just so we can kind of go through an example of where we would get a 0. So here I have -10 plus 10. And notice we have a negative here and nothing right in front here, which means it's a positive 10. Those are different, so this would be a D for different. Now, the one thing I will tell you is anytime you have a number and its opposite, so that negative of the same digit, they are always going to cancel each other out. So that's going to give us 0. Now, if I needed to do the counters, I could, but you would notice that we would end up with 10 negatives and 10 positives, and we would end up canceling all of them out. So here we ended up with an answer of 0 for our last box. Okay, your homework is to go ahead and complete page 8 as well as page 7 if you didn't get it done. If you have any questions, just see me in class and I'll be glad to help you out.